Good evening, Wall Street winners. It is Sunday, April the 6th, and I'm just reaching out at this point because the U.S. futures markets have opened about an hour or so ago, maybe a little more than an hour ago, and they are in a steep decline as the Asian markets come back online after a holiday on Friday. You can see that heading into the pre-market tomorrow and obviously the opening bell at 9:30 a.m. The Dow Jones is off another 3.5%. The S&P 500 is now broken through the 5,000 barrier and is down at 98.17, down almost 4%, 3.77%. And the NASDAQ is off 16 points at minus 4.65%. So it's another bloodbath out there. We're now seeing a 3-day decline in the, call it 15 to 20% range, depending on the market and indice you're looking at. But it's not looking like a pretty setup. And to add to this, if you look at things like crude oil prices, you can see here in the crude prices, if we go down to oil, that crude is plummeted as well. It's off and is now below $60 a barrel. It is trading at $59.80 a barrel right now, which is down 3.52%. So I'm hoping you followed the advice provided last week and heading into this, and you bought some put positions with a month out duration. If you have, hold on to those until you hear something change in the news and the media or out of the administration, because those will only get more valuable as the markets decline and they head into their expiration dates. But if things do change, then you can sell those and take your profit, and you should be making a pretty tidy profit on those right now based on how much the markets have dropped. So good luck in your trades and approach this week with extreme caution. We're probably going to see some greater declines unless we can get the other countries, these call them 15 countries, the terrible 15 that have had tariffs implemented, come to the table and sit down with Donald Trump and his team and negotiate a tariff package on the retaliatory tariffs. If that happens and we see some movement in that direction, or if we hear from the U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, and he drops interest rates in the U.S., or, and I'm not suggesting anyone do this by any means, or something bad happens to the President of the United States. I think those are three things that could change the direction of the market. But without one of those things happening, I think we're going to have a pretty bloody and rough start to the week. We may see something turn as we get towards the end of the week and we start to get Q2 earnings out. If we start to get some good news out of our financials primarily, and out of, I think, Delta Airlines, one of the big U.S. airlines, is reporting this week as well. And we hear some other positive economic data. What that may be remains to be seen. Then I think that may be enough to turn the tide and get things moving in the other direction. But to think that the 15% correction is just going to undo itself and we're going to go back up 15% within the course of even the month of April, I think is just very unrealistic and far too optimistic. So I think we're probably not going to see a recovery of the correction losses right now until probably June or July at this point. And even that, I think, is aggressive. I think it could be the end of the year, even into next year, before we see these companies start to come back, unless we start to see extremely strong earnings out of individual companies. So I'm not suggesting the whole index will recover, but if we do see some of some strong companies, I can't even say sectors, just some individual companies within individual sectors come out ahead and really differentiate themselves from their competition, that could be enough to have those individual stocks spike and gain in on an earnings announcement or something of that nature. Anyway, good luck with your trades. If you're liking these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And if you know somebody that's interested in learning more about the markets and what's going on and investing their own money, recommend them to the channel. Talk to you again tomorrow.